Welcome to On Ice, the show about the show. Today, we're talking about Lost Season 4, Episodes 3 and 4. I'm Will, also here is Ben, and you can watch full episodes of the podcast on YouTube with video. Ben and I also release a bonus hangout show every week that can be found at patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. Unfortunately, we do have to begin the podcast on a little bit of a serious note today, Ben. We talked about this a little bit off air, but R.I.P. Watto.
Yeah. Kind of similar to that Charlie, is Charlie the guy from the show, or is Charlie a pet, a beloved pet situation? I did remember who Watto. I did know that Watto was a Star Wars guy, Star Warrior, and but I couldn't quite remember his whole situation. But
well, more than anything, he was a friend, really.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it's we won't linger too much, but it's, you know, it's good to take the time and acknowledge when a great passes. It's kind of messing me up, honestly. But as far as Lost goes, I think this might set the record for the most consistent string of episodes so far that we've recorded. If season 4 continues at anywhere near its current pace, for me, it's going to be my favorite season. There is really nothing that I have an issue with. I'm having a great time.
Nice. I mean, I had a similar thought to myself watching the episodes this week as well. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. And you're right. You don't get a good string of pretty good episodes very often.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're finding their footing. It's, you know, it's interesting. It almost makes me like worried that our show isn't as good if we can't, you know, bust on it a little bit.
Don't say it that way.
Nothing wrong with.
Never heard that phrase before, but okay.
Wouldn't that make for compelling pod? But it's been good. It's just a lot of like, I like this episode. Let's watch the next one, kind of thing.
Sure.
But there have been Lost has been a little bit in the air a little bit, and this is serious. This isn't another like a Watto bit. So Severance season 2 is dropping as we speak. It's airing, and that's been kind of taking the internet. People are super into Severance, and it's kind of like a mystery. I mean, it's very, very much a mystery. And there have been a lot of parallels made to Lost. And I want to talk about it a little bit at the top of the show because I think it's kind of interesting because we find ourselves to be accidentally the experts on Lost. As a guy who hasn't seen the show yet and the guy who mostly forgot the show, we are the foremost experts about it. But the creator of Severance, Dan Erickson, name-checked Lost in an interview or a couple of interviews over the last week or so. And he said something along I should have pulled up the actual quote, but the gist of his sentiment, I think, was he didn't want Severance to turn into Lost. That was the overriding.
Yeah, I actually saw this. Shelley showed it to me because she and I have watched Severance. You know, I know that just a few weeks ago I mistakenly said that I haven't watched any TV in the last year, including Lost. But I have watched Severance. But maybe I watched it.
Are you watching the new season?
Yeah, we watched it the other day. Like they've had 2 weeks of episodes or something.
Yeah.
Shelley likes to watch TV, and so, you know, she watches a lot of stuff that she can just like power through. She's
Yeah.
not she's not zen or whatever. I'm signaling at myself for people who are just listening. I don't know quite know why, what the connection is, but
You're
she's not
giving
zen.
Zen. Yeah.
Think of me. And she gets pretty antsy about like it came out at midnight Friday or something. We need to watch this at 5
Yeah.
p.m. after work on Friday. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
come on, I'm gonna watch a very important James Bond movie
That I've
first, and
seen
then we can watch
200
it.
times already. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. I really like I think that they're interesting shows to compare, Severance and Lost, and I really like that Severance is releasing on a weekly schedule instead of dropping it all at once.
yep.
Um, I'm nostalgic for the days when it was you would get a new episode for something every week, and you would spend all week going nuts about it on the message boards and stuff. And like this is
Yeah.
honestly the first time that I've been uh as into a show so much since True Detective season 1, uh where I was reading the subreddit all the time thinking about theories about who's the Yellow King and all of that. This isn't a podcast about Severance. This is a podcast about Lost, but I think that the parallels are interesting. And I think that I don't think we get Severance if we don't have Lost. I just feel a little compelled to jump on the mic and defend Lost a little bit. I think that it's a good show and that it might be being slightly unfairly maligned.
Yeah, I guess so. I people don't say mean things about Lost to me. Also, you said think this is Severance has been going around on the internet. Uh, I Yes, I didn't see it. I'm over on North Korean internet lately, so we're
What's
talking
going on
about
over there?
Friends, 1999 episodes of Friends or something. No, I don't know. I kind of get what you're saying, and uh, partly because like Lost and Severance are the only two not the only two TV shows that I've seen, but I have these memory problems, I guess, and so they're the only two TV shows I remember seeing lately. And so when I heard that interview that you were talking about, I was like, damn, I got to see
I could
this
actually
guy. I know what he's
parse
talking
this.
about. He's not like, oh yeah, Severance is like The Sopranos. And I'm like, damn, don't know about that. Don't know about Friends. I only know about North Korean Friends. I
Hmm.
don't know about whatever else. But this guy name dropping the two TV shows I happen to be watching. Awesome,
Time to play. Yeah.
sir. I
I mean,
completely agree.
yeah.
You could not get Severance without Lost.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point that you just made. I just caught myself agreeing very strong with that. But I think that like having like a prestige streaming show where you make 9 episodes a season once every 5 years is totally different than like a network show where you have to pump out 25 episodes every 8 months or so. Uh, it's totally different eras of uh, TV production. I mean, as someone who like I'm loving Severance, but like I don't whatever, and I don't know if Dan Erickson actually meant to be like too maligned Lost too strongly, but I just feel compelled to like you know come to its defense a little bit. And yeah, I'm really psyched to see where it ends. I mean, I guess that's kind of the um its legacy. I think its cultural legacy, Lost cultural legacy, as far as I've been able to sniff it, is that it went crazy places and they didn't really have a plan for where it landed, and they just did a lot of making it up as they went along towards the end. That's kind of like the vibe I
Sure,
get. Anybody that I talk to
sure.
who's seen the show is like, is angry at it for some reason. And I'm prepared, and I'm coming at this from a place like I want to like this show. I'm finding the good in it. So I guess we'll see. We will revisit at the end of all this. But we're not quite there at the end. We are still at season 4, episode 3, that being The Economist. This aired Valentine's Day 2008. Were you doing anything with your sweetie in middle school?
2008. No. One time when I was in, wait, how old would you be when it's 2008?
It's like there's a universal question.
How old would I have been?
That sounds like a question for you to answer.
No, I don't think I would have been doing anything. One time when I was a kid,
going through like, I've never done anything for any Valentine's Day. Think about this really hard.
One time when I was a kid in like 5th or 6th grade, I guess I didn't get in trouble, but I kind of embarrassed myself because I had like, I guess I had like a, elementary school girlfriend, and I decided to give her $40 for Valentine's Day.
What the heck? You're the straight up cash, like 220s.
Yeah. Like, I think my mom helped me get like a little chocolate box or something like that, which would be like a normal, little 5 chocolates in a heart-shaped box type situation. Very normal thing. And it might have had like a card. And then I think I went and like put it on her desk before she came in. And then I think I saw other guys putting things on their girlfriend's desks, and maybe some of them had like,
man, y'all had girlfriends in elementary school? Oh my god, that was advanced.
This is like a very brief thing. I don't even know. Maybe it was somebody who I just liked or something like that. No, I think it must have been girlfriend, whatever. And probably other guys were putting like stuffed animals, and I was like, damn,
wow,
I'm fucking up here. And then I was just like, pull out my wallet, I guess, and I had like $40, had 220s, and I was like, okay. And I went and put 220s.
Also, having $40 as an elementary schooler is crazy mode too. That is so wild. All of this,
yeah,
man. Grinnell, Iowa was a
so it's
was a
possible
place.
This is what I was doing, but I think that's before. I think that I would have been much younger when I did the $40 thing. 2008, I would have been like 15 or something.
Yeah, you had moved on to
I was saving
more advanced moves.
I was saving my money by then. I was like, never doing that again.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't doing anything this year. This episode was directed by Jack Bender and written by Edward Kitsis and Adam Horowitz. It's so funny that I could doing the podcast with you is like a privilege of a lifetime, because it really is. Like, you could, I just offhandedly decided to ask you about a date, just kind of randomly, and got a story like that. It's so good. It's so good. So Jack Shepard and Miles Strom argue about what to do about the leader of the others, Ben Linus, and Miles' colleague Charlotte, both sought after by Miles and his colleagues and taken prisoner by John Locke. Sayid pays his respects to Naomi Dorrit and takes her bracelet. He then offers to retrieve Charlotte without bloodshed, in return gaining a helicopter flight to the freighter anchored offshore. He takes along Miles and Kate. I guess, okay, sorry. I'm going through this, and I guess we're talking about the flash forwards at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Wikipedia Man has been met with a new challenge of, we are no longer going to the past. I guess depending on where you consider yourself currently. Do you consider yourself? Are you watching from the island? Or are you watching from the future? Or
Yeah. So I guess we can get into this. So the survivors, and Jack amongst them, Sayid as well. Basically and in the next episode, Kate does this too. But the negotiations that they get into, like the arts of the deal that they're engaging in, are so goofy. Like, what was it? Like, Jack goes up and asks Miles, like, hey, maybe this happened in the last episode, but like, whatever, like, I need to get on your airplane. And he's like, oh, I need the phone. He's like, all right, here's the phone. He just gives over whatever leverage that he had and just hopes that he'll get something in return. And that's what everybody does over and over again and throughout these episodes.
I gotta say one other little incidental thing that comes up in both of these episodes. Speaking of the new people, what year are we in again? When was this airing? What year?
2008.
2008. Okay. Still seems a little late for this. I mean, it's always too late for this, but still surprised by it that like everyone on the island is dealing with the fact that we have at least one person of a new race on the island. And so they are very quickly getting out. Talking about Miles, they are very quickly getting out all of the Miles nicknames that like
Sawyer's hovering
and Hurley. I don't even know. I guess Sawyer says one. Hurley is like one of the first people. They're just busting them.
Let's go.
All these ones that they were like, we can't. We're not going to burn these on Jin and Sun over the previous 4 episodes because on the off chance that some other Asian person comes to the island, we're going to have a bunch of other racist stuff in our back pocket that we can use for them. And that has finally happened. A little uncomfortable to watch. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes like it depends on how long that you get stuck that get stuck on the island. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's like an Austin Power situation where you get like frozen in ice over, 40 years, whatever, and you get unfrozen, then you're still like calling people gay and stuff. Like, they're like, sorry, you get frozen in the mid 2000s, and you're like, hey man, we don't actually do that anymore. Like, what?
Yeah,
it's crazy. Well, so where are we? Sayid takes along Miles and Kate. Sayid asks Jack not to come with him as Jack might be unpredictable around Locke since their confrontation earlier. The last time that they met, Jack tried to shoot Locke, albeit with an empty gun. While Sayid is gone, Daniel asks Regina, a colleague on the freighter, to shoot a projectile onto the island. Regina does so, but the projectile does not arrive for 30 minutes. Very interesting revelation here. We get
a very interesting little experiment to just have on deck that apparently they've just been
they suspected
Max Blebo, whatever that guy's name. What's the old guy? What's his name?
Which old guy?
The
Frank Lapidus
pilot. Frank Lapidus. Yep.
I know we talk about Watto, Max Rebo. Yeah.
Max Rebo. Yeah. Okay. Frank Lapidus is like, does he tell Jack, whoever's standing by him, he's like, don't worry, he does this shit all the time.
Yeah.
And like, seems like not an experiment, not sort of a scientific little diagnostic that you would just often be doing.
Yeah. What do you mean he's always doing that?
Yeah.
I think he probably just means like being weird.
Could you
not like
shoot,
you might shoot a missile at me? Yeah.
Could you shoot a missile at me with like a very specialized watch or whatever? Could you just put a watch on a missile?
That's just Dan. I will say, of the new characters, I'm feeling like Frank is the most trustworthy. I just the vibe I'm getting. Like right now, like he's he's sensing that alpha energy in Jack, and he's like, that nerd, Daniel, that nerd. Like he's being some dork ass right now. Like,
I think that depends on your definition of trustworthy, though, because if I was in that situation, I think I'd trust Daniel more. Daniel seems more of somebody I could kind of keep under my thumb, because he's a nerd.
He's maybe it's just unfair, like, he's shifty. I mean, he's like physically shifty and stuff like that. Like he's clearly like holding out info the whole time. So that's why I'm not thinking that he's very trustworthy. But maybe he's more easily or like maybe he's, because you are able to read him easier, that's why you could
Yeah.
consider him a safer companion, perhaps.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the 30-minute time differential, I guess. So the survivors, led by Locke, arrive at the location of Jacob's cabin, but find the area is deserted. Locke changes his course to the barracks, but not before Ben kind of mocks him, and like, oh, looks like your leader is just trying to find someone to tell him what to do, kind of thing. And I feel a little I feel a little projection is going on. I think that I think that Ben is a little sensitive about his relationship with Jacob. Thinking back to when Ben was like, what did he tell you? What did he say in there? Kind of thing. So yeah, Locke changes his course to the barracks and uses Hurley to ambush Sayid, Kate, and Miles. Like Sayid, Kate, and Miles find Hurley like tied up in a closet, and he's like, oh, they left without me, blah blah blah, and then they all get caught. Kate is being watched by Sawyer, and they discuss their reasons for wanting or not wanting to go home. Kate, realizing that she would be arrested for her crimes upon rescue, defects to Locke's group. She makes the decision. There's also like Kate and Jack and Sawyer relationship dynamics going on. Like there's it's not necessarily like, oh, she's picking one man over the other, but like there's a little bit of she's reacting to being back with Sawyer, and she's thinking about Jack back at the airplane or the helicopter. Sayid negotiates with Locke to exchange Charlotte with Miles in order to get access to the boat. Locke tells him that wouldn't be necessary, as Ben has a spy on that freighter, to which Sayid responds that he would rather sell his soul than trust Ben. At the helicopter, Desmond confronts pilot Frank Lapidus about the picture Naomi had of him and his ex-fiancée Penelope Widmore. Frank denies any knowledge of her, but Desmond nevertheless demands a place on the helicopter. At the same time, Sayid returns with only Charlotte. While Frank accuses Sayid of being dishonest, he considers Miles a pain in the ass and agrees to fly him offshore. I can see that. Miles seems like he's a fairly abrasive guy.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, he kind of sucks.
So now let's talk about the flash forwards, which were probably my favorite part of the show.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, very, very Bourne coded too. The episode's flash forwards are centered on Sayid in Berlin, who has since become one of the Oceanic Six. So he's who we got? We got Sayid now, Jack, Kate, and Hurley. I think that's the four of six. He is hired as an assassin, and like a really cool sort of the opening scene of the episode is he's golfing on a golf course. He makes some wager with some guy, which I also wanted to get in with you because you're the golf knower about her.
Just such a dumb scene from like the golfing perspective. I mean, I love the scene. The wager that they make is so stupid, though.
It's so funny because I even know enough to like, I don't think that the difference between the two shots was not enough club, because okay, so what was it that Sayid he's got a 7 iron.
Sayid's golfing on his own.
He's golfing on his own.
He's golfing on his own. He's middle of the fairway. Some other guy comes up behind him and is like, "Hey,
you'd get there closer with a 5 iron."
Well, first the guy's like, "Hey, I haven't seen anybody else out here today," and then Sayid owns him with a like, "Yeah, that's what we kind of pay for, to not see one another."
Yeah, like, could you leave me alone?
What the fuck are you doing here? And then Saeed's about to like take a shot, and then the guy's like, "Whoa, hold up! I think you'll want to use your 5-iron. It's like very dumb. Like you've not seen this guy take a shot yet.
Yeah, it's not just that
These are
like
not like a universal. This is not like a
yeah, a
universal
club
club
necessarily
thing.
corresponds to a yardage on its own.
No,
It's
in
the
your hand. I mean, yeah, yes, like a 5-iron
relative.
is gonna go further than like a 7-iron, which yeah, also like probably a pretty big difference in that situation too. But like it's gonna go further. But you haven't seen this guy take
Maybe
even
he's
a
really
swing.
strong, big dog.
Yeah, maybe he's really strong. Yeah, like you have no idea. And then whatever.
They
Actual
make the
important stuff
wager
happens. They make a wager, actual important stuff happens. Sayid, like, it's pretty good shot. Like
onto the green.
lands it on the green. And then the next guy, also the bet wasn't that Sayid couldn't take a second shot with a 5-iron and hit it on. The other guy's just like, I bet I
I'm
can hit
gonna
a 5-iron
use a
closer.
5-iron.
So
Yeah.
okay, we've added even more variables into
Uh,
this situation. That guy hits very nice shot, like a couple of yards from
it's
the pin or whatever.
yeah,
It's
it's
closer.
closer to the pin, but not a further distance. It's like Sayid was like too far to the left, and then this guy just gets like closer to the right, and so there wasn't even like oh, he was able to give it a little bit more muscle or something. Very
Oh
goofy.
yeah, I don't even. I thought it landed actually closer, but yeah,
Oh, it did. It landed
maybe you're
closer
right.
to the pin. Yeah, you're right. But not like in a distance way.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they're
it was
both the same
short.
distance, but
Yeah.
like it was just like an aiming issue.
Oh okay. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, very silly.
But that's when Sayid reveals, like, yeah, I was one of the Oceanic Six. And the guy's like, oh shit, I'm getting out of here. So he's like, no, 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 I owe you this money. And then he reaches into his golf bag and then pulls out a gun and blows him away.
Which is very the like blowing the
What
guy
was that?
away part is very funny because that's like such a lost idiom or whatever, I guess at this point. That's like what you would do in maybe like an action movie.
Yeah.
Lost is very much a show where you pull out a gun and
You
talk
talk it
over the
through.
gun for
Yeah.
15 minutes
Uh-huh.
after you pulled out the gun. But yeah, it really is like that like that video of that old guy that's like, you know, call
Go-
call an ambulance for you.
Uh-huh.
Like he really pulls it out and yeah, blows him away immediately. And then
So good.
just kind of walks away, but the sprinklers turn on for some reason, which also would not happen during the daytime at a golf course. And then Sayid just kind of confidently walks through them, which I think is
Why?
also very
Why?
funny because it kind of reads like a lower budget version of, you know, guy walking away through like an explosion, you know, like in an action movie, like explosion, don't look back at the explosion, or just kind of like
Yeah.
walk through the fire. And Saeed just confidently strolls right through like 10 sprinklers that definitely would have soaked him. Definitely did soak him.
No reason to do that.
No. Could have just walked the other way too.
He could have just walked away.
Could have finished his round.
He just knew that there was some guy who loves to like bother people on the golf course, so that's what his like whole scheme
Yeah.
was. So great.
I was under the impression
unironically totally
that he
love it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally love it. Yeah. I think, you know, maybe you could, maybe that is the impression you could have legitimately been under, that like Saeed is not a hitman. You're reading the Wikipedia thing afterwards, like Saeed is revealed to be a hitman in Berlin. Like, what? I thought he just took care of this annoying ass dude on the golf course.
Well, yeah. Eventually, that's what the reveal is, that he's him. But there's other hints too, because he's like he's doing born stuff, dude. He like throws away a cell phone in a garbage can.
Picks up, he does a weird thing that I'm going to be embarrassed if my James Bond movie knowledge, if you tell me what the reason for this would have been, but he throws away a cell phone in a public trash can in the middle of winter, and then he very intentionally grabs a fistful of like
Some
slushy
snow.
ice off the top and kind of crushes it in his hand and then lets it go as he walks away, you know? What? What was that about?
That's such a good call out. Yeah. Was that supposed to be like he's washing his hands? Or I just think it was him just like being swagged out because he is insanely juiced in the flash forwards. He's looking so hot. He's got the fits. He's got the hair. It's like perfect. Like, okay, we're doing action movie stuff. Sayid, you're gonna be the man. And it sounded like Naveen Andrews was very psyched for this season, and I can see why.
Yeah. Would
We're,
you not be if you're
yeah, we're
talking
gonna
to the
make it very
director, or they give you
suave.
the writers give you the thing and they're like, yeah, you're gonna be badass James Bond
Yeah,
this season.
Matthew Fox looking at it is just like I'm gonna be like bearded and drunk and crying all the time, and Saeed's gonna be uh betting hot German blondes. Although I do like Jack's flash forward too. He like also so far all the flash forwards, everyone's looking cool. I really like uh
Really?
he's driving his Camaro around, man. Nothing cooler than that.
That's true, but they do kind of do him dirty in that way where it's like he got this big
Then he gets the
settlement.
mental
He
asylum.
got this he got this big settlement, and then they're just like, what would this big dummy do? Oh, he just buy a Camaro and drive around in a Camaro
Wait,
all
was that
day.
not his like dad's Camaro or whatever? Like or like the
I guess
the
that's sorry,
family Camaro?
that's true. That's true too. But I guess
You
then
get it fixed
even
up.
bigger point, you know.
Also,
You
he
just
already had money. He already had,
car. He
yeah.
already had the money, yeah.
Um, yeah. So he then goes on to meet his actual target of the episode. Not that that first guy wasn't a target, but this is like where the most of the time spent in the flash forwards focuses on this German woman. Think of a German name. Elsa is
Yes.
there. Meets in a coffee shop accidentally. And he starts courting her. He starts a relationship with her in order to get closer to her employer, the eponymous Economist.
Hmm.
The eponymous Economist was so many terrible musical group titles back in this era. After several dates, while they're just lounging around in bed, Sayid kind of her pager goes off though, because the setup is that like she's got this pager that she needs to hold on to, and when it buzzes, then she needs to like go to this guy's side. And that's kind of like what her whole job is. Um, and it goes off one day, and Sayid is like he's actually developed feelings for her, so he says like Elsa, you gotta leave town. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
She's like, what? What do you mean? It's like, no, something's gonna happen to your employer, and I don't want you to be around when that happens. So she takes out a gun and blows him away.
Yeah, I love it. Everybody in this episode, no gun talk or whatever, just shoot first. Shoot first,
And
ask questions last.
so begins the Dear Sister sketch.
The dear sister, yes. Exactly.
So then he shoots her. She dies. He goes over to her and like takes. I don't know if he takes. Does he take her bracelet or something? Is that where he sees the bracelet, or is?
Yeah, I think that's where you see her bracelet. He kind of goes in for the weird, somebody just died. You got to give him a little brush on the back of their
Yeah,
cheek or the back of your hand on their cheek or whatever
yeah,
type
yeah.
situation.
I don't think I'm probably doing that if someone dies in front of me. I'm probably not going up and feeling them up. That's just me though.
No.
And so he's injured. He's got a bullet in his torso, and so he walks into a veterinary clinic, and we have a mysterious and instantly recognizable voice, but is still like
It's like pitched
hidden.
down or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's doing a little bit with his performance, but We instantly know who it is, but we're like holding out for the reveal. Uh, and he's fixing him up and like telling him about, okay, they know who, they know that they know that they're after them, and then we see it's revealed to be Ben, and he says, "Good." So
Good
very
episode.
cool, really interesting turn of events. I think that this flash forward conceit really opened the door for them to get creative with it. I'm loving the flash forwards way more than the flashbacks. I think I kind of got a little tired of the flashbacks. Like I kind of don't care where they came from because I know where they are. But now I don't know where they're gonna go. How the hell are they gonna get there?
Yeah. Nice little writer trick. The writers in the studio tenting their fingers, saying, "People are telling us they're getting tired of the flashbacks. What are we going to do about it? Do we need to end the series? We don't know what to do." And then smart writer pops their head up
Grabs
and
the
says,
marker,
"Excuse me." And then they write out very slowly, flash forward.
crossing out back, writing forward. Everyone loses their
Yeah.
minds. Yeah. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5.
Uh I'll give it also a 4 out of 5.
You were close to giving it that 5.
Possibly a vibe, yes.
Yeah, very strong 4. Couple stray observations. The helicopter's number is N842M. I don't know what to make of that, but you gotta pay attention to these sorts of things. The bracelet that Naomi wore says N, I'll always be with you, RG. Uh what?
I just was thinking about it to myself. Who's yeah. Who's and I mean we as Sayid
Naomi,
is looking at the big
presumably.
yeah, Naomi, yeah, probably. RG could be
Regina George.
Regina George. It could be, it could be a boyfriend who is like RG, real gangsta. I'm your
Mm-hmm.
real gangsta, which is what people normally like to do when they give
It's
gifts
me,
to their
your boyfriend.
girlfriend. When you give gifts to your girlfriend on Valentine's, you usually write your
It's
gang
Ron
name.
Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. Yep.
The other thing that I wanted to mention, so who at some point is it Miles who says something offensive and Hurley says, "Awesome, the ship sent another Sawyer."
Yeah. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yep.
He calls him Tubby, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode of On Ice, the podcast, the show about the show, is brought to you by us. Thanks for listening. It's great to have you here. If you'd like to support us, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and checking out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Dr. Skeleton. Let's get into S4E4, aka Eggtown. One of the more confusingly named episodes, but we'll get into it. But why? It's called Eggtown.
Yeah.
Leading theory.
Other writers in the writers' room being like, "Yes, I'll be the show writer for this one. I've got a very badass name for this episode, The Economist," and everyone's doing their golf clap.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Next guy up. Yeah, I've got a pretty good one too. This episode's gonna be called Eggtown.
Like,
Eggtown. Okay, let's see where
okay.
this goes. Gonna need a little bit more.
So this was written by Elizabeth Sarnoff and Gregory Nations. This is Greg's first show that he was written, but he joined the show and was tasked with like writing out like the show Bible and stuff. So he's ostensibly kind of like, I don't know, lost expert encyclopedia nerd guy he's a bit of an egghead himself.
Is that a writer's room thing? You write
For a big
Bible epic like this, you write a Bible of
you're supposed to have a Bible.
truths?
It's kind of crazy that you don't have that by season 4. So it seems like mildly apocryphal that's how it would go down, especially with a show this complex and lore dependent. But this was Gregory's first, job on the show, and that he eventually became some kind of, I don't he got promoted into doing more important things later on in the show's run. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this episode aired February 21st, 2008. It was directed by Stephen Williams. So, yeah. We'll talk about the flash forwards that have to do with Kate at the end of the episode. So what's happening on the island? John Locke is keeping Ben Linus prisoner in the basement of the house that he claimed in the barracks. He takes over Ben's house. Yeah. We see all those masks on the wall.
Yeah, very, very problematic. What are you doing with that, Ben?
He's a liar. Get it? He's always acting to people. John prepares breakfast for Ben, including the 2 remaining eggs, which he fries along with some fresh melon.
Get it? Eggtown.
Because they're honestly, that ends up being the most compelling theory for why this episode is called Eggtown.
They should have had him say it, you know. I'm a believer that you should have to say the name of the movie.
Welcome to Eggtown.
Welcome to Eggtown, Ben. Exactly.
Nathan Fielder voice, Egg City over here, huh? But Ben taunts him, and Locke becomes frustrated. And he goes and chucks the eggs against the wall.
Yep.
Kate cuts a deal with Locke's prisoner Miles Strom. But first she has to find him. She gets his information gets his location, the information about his location from Hurley by pretending that hey, John told me to bring him his breakfast, and then Hurley says that he's brought to the boathouse. And then they say
almost immediately gains that information too. Asks Locke for the answer, and Locke's can't tell you that. And then Kate walks away, and it's
hey, Hurley, where is he?
Where is he? And immediately reveals it.
Yeah.
Kind of easy mode spy mission for Kate.
I will say, I kind of expected her to just say, "Where is he?" instead of doing any semblance of ruse. So props to her for doing any amount of being ruseful. And then she enters into a negotiation with Miles and says "Hey, I need you to tell me everything that you know about me," presumably because she's a fugitive and she wants to know if she goes back with them, will she be taken into custody, et cetera, et cetera. And Miles is he's tied up, clearly in a position of the weaker position, and he's "I'll only tell you if you get me a conversation with Ben Linus." She's "Damn, okay." And then with the help of Sawyer, who does his own bit of rusing on Locke, gets access to, or gets them in a room together, into Locke's basement, and Miles wants to extort exactly $3.2 million from Ben, and in return, Miles promises to lie to his employer, claiming Ben is dead. Really cool moment in here where Ben is saying he tries to kind of string him along a little bit, or do a little bit of manipulation here, how would I know, or who just little old me sort of thing. And Miles is "I'm not one of them. Don't pull that shit on me." I thought that was a really effective moment.
Yeah. Little rude, but
I mean, that's Miles, effective. But it's very evocative. All right, there is this, all this extra information that is just out of reach for us. And Miles gives Ben a week to produce the cash. Before Locke finds them, Miles reveals that he knows all about Kate's past. Locke banishes Kate from the barracks and goes to a lake house, where Miles is being held captive. Locke puts a grenade in Miles's mouth so that if he ceases to bite, he will die. Another egg-shaped item. The other theory that was called Eggtown.
Welcome to Eggtown.
Mm-hmm.
He screams as he puts the
Everything's
grenade in his
egg-shaped.
mouth.
Yeah. At some point, like Kate's like, hey, before all this, Kate first tries to talk to Miles, and by going to Locke and saying, hey, let me talk to Miles, and Locke's like, nope. And she's like, well, who made you in charge? And he says, this is not a democracy. Contrary to how Jack might be running things, this is not a democracy. Which, all right, Jack's not running a democracy
No.
over there by any stretch of the imagination. And it does make you think, where does power come from? Why is Locke in charge here? And later when Kate tells Sawyer that she's been banished by Locke, Sawyer's like, well, I unbanish you.
Yeah.
Who's Locke to say that sort of thing? I think that's an interesting thing that you can be thinking about, is that, like, okay, we also kind of made Locke the leader here, and I guess we're gonna give him that power because he seems to have some sort of like privileged access to some kind of information that might keep us safe, and so we'll follow his lead because we just kind of trust that he will keep us safe in this way. But I think that most of the people who are staying with Locke are not like, we like him. And so but probably if Locke starts getting too crazy, I imagine most of the people would be like, no, we don't recognize your authority, and do their own thing. But I think that was a good move on Sawyer's part to just be like, well, who cares, man? I unbanish you.
Yeah.
Kate sleeps with Sawyer, but does not have sex with him. Wikipedia man.
Thank you, Wikipedia man. Yep. Yeah, don't know. No notes on that one.
Before Kate leaves for the camp at the beach, she slaps Sawyer across the face after he suggests that she is just pretending to be mad as an excuse to go back to Jack Shepherd and continue their love triangle. She also, I thought, very crucially, tells Sawyer she's not pregnant. And Sawyer's like, yeehaw! All right, let's go. Yes! And she's like, excuse me. And is get upset at him for that. And I'm not on Sawyer's side for being like that, rude about not being pregnant, but I think he has a little bit of a point of like, you have been kind of acting crazy these last couple of days. Kind of all over the place, Kate. Used me for access to Miles, or like get with, or to fool Locke, and what's going on? Like I can see him being like, kind of like, can we just have like a straightforward understanding of what our relationship is?
Doesn't Sawyer know about this is what I guess I was confused about, or just forgot about the current situation, but like, doesn't Sawyer know about the
curse?
Pregnant women die on the island thing? Yeah.
He's got to.
I thought that had been discussed in public with him in the group.
I think so.
Yeah, so
why can't...
He should have just said that. He should have been like, great, you're not going to die.
You're not going to die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we're forgetting something that neither of them know about that. But
Kate knows because she talked about it with his son before.
And then, so I feel like, yeah, Sawyer has to know. Everyone has to know. I don't know. And earlier on in the episode too, we speaking of babies, I guess, Kate and Claire are like hanging up laundry outside on the clotheslines, and Aaron is nearby in a basket or something, and starts like fussing. And Claire says, "Hey, can you hold Aaron for a minute?" And Kate's like, not really comfortable with holding a baby sort of thing. And Claire says something along the lines of, "You should give it a shot, like being a mom. I never thought that I'd be a good mom."
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah.
Try it out someday. You should try it out.
Yeah, just for a little bit. You can always opt out. Meanwhile, Jack returns to the survivors' beach camp with Juliet and newcomers Daniel Faraday and Charlotte Lewis. Jack and Juliet grow increasingly uneasy over a series of unsuccessful attempts to contact the freighter by satellite phone and verify that Desmond, Sayid, and Frank, who departed for the freighter by helicopter the previous evening, have arrived safely. Regina on the phone is like, "No, they're not here. Desmond's not here." That evening, as Charlotte tests Daniel's memory using playing cards, Daniel successfully remembers 2 out of 3 cards, and Charlotte remarks that this is progress. I didn't get that was memory. I didn't think that was memory. I thought it was maybe. I know I just saw the wonderful story of Henry Sugar, so that's why it's in my head. But I thought it was like seeing through the cards. I thought he was supposed to just feel what the cards were, into it in some way, not just memorize. But Wikipedia man says memorization. And Jack and Julia ask if there's another phone that they can try. Charlotte dials an emergency number and speaks to Regina, who reports that the helicopter never arrived. All right, so now let's talk about the flash forwards for this. After leaving the island, Kate is famous as one of the Oceanic Six. She is tried for her numerous crimes committed before the crash and pleads not guilty. And again, I struggled to recognize Kate in these scenes. Smooth Kate is back, and it's thrown me off. I gotta study, I guess. Study up. Because Kate is opposed to bringing her son into the trial, Jack is called in as a character witness. Kate apparently has a son, is what we're learning here. Jack lies in his testimony. He says that Flight of 15 crashed into the water, 8 survived the crash, 2 have since died, and Kate was primarily responsible for the Oceanic Six's survival. He also crucially says under oath, in the most realistic depiction of a courtroom on television ever, that he does not love her.
Mr. Shepard, I've got
There's one final question, Your Honor.
One final question for you. Do you love Kate?
What is that voice? But yes, it's very goofy. Like really stretching the limits of believability, even on TV law drama. But sure, whatever. Kate speaks with her mother, Diane, and yeah, Jack says no. I do not love her.
Yeah, foiled, lawyer owned by stoic doctor.
I think it's time for like the Chad fan cam filter on Jack. The second he says no, I don't love her.
No, actually, he says not anymore. He's like, yeah, I don't know. She's kind of busted now. I don't think so. There's a lot of hotter people in the world now.
Now that I'm famous, I kind of don't think so.
We were on an island, but yeah, she's kind of busted.
Her? Oh, dude, no, oh. He makes a huge deal out of it up on the stand. It's just, oh, her? Oh, dude, Evangeline Lilly? No way, dude. Oh, no. Bailiff, just kill me now. Just shoot me. Kate speaks with her mother, Diane Jansen, for the first time in 4 years. Oh, by the way, Is
for
this
sure,
trial
actually.
happening in Iowa?
In Iowa. Ooh, yeah.
Definitely not based on like the geography that we see later on when Kate like goes home and all of that, like pulls up on a street and they're like, that's definitely not Iowa. But like in fiction, is that supposed to be in Iowa? Is this happening in some Iowa courtrooms, some Iowa federal courtrooms?
I think is it oh yeah, it is federal court, right? It's established that it's federal court, not state court, right?
It's got to be.
Because she traveled and all that stuff. Okay, yeah. I
I mean,
guess
it
it
was
would
like
probably
FBI was involved and it's like murder and stuff, right? So like that's a federal crime. So I understand it.
because she murdered what?
Isn't murder? Don't you? If you murder, don't you go to federal court or is that state court?
No. You
Oh,
can state court murder somebody. You can
all
murder
right.
somebody in state court, I think. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, that's a big thing, you know. Kind of get luckier if you murder somebody federally.
Federally.
Because I think they don't have death penalty, right? But some of the
Damn.
states
I
do.
should know this.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. But okay, yeah. Are they in Iowa though? Are they in the Iowa legal system?
Don't know. Why do
I
you
don't even
ask?
because we're from Iowa.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. Doi. Uh, yeah. Kate speaks with her mother for the first time in 4 years. Diane is no longer angry at Kate because her perspective changed. So 4 years. We get a time. We get a set time. This has been 4 years since she spoke, I guess. So like less than 4 years has passed since the crash and all of that too. Um, Diane is no longer angry at Kate because her perspective changed when she thought Kate had died in the plane crash. When Diane, the prosecution's star witness, no longer wants to testify against her daughter, the district attorney makes a plea deal. Kate gets 10 years probation, but she must stay in the state of California. All right. Answer is right there.
Pretty
Jack meet
nice. Why did it go to California? Why did it get moved to California or whatever? She was being like held in Iowa and stuff in the past.
maybe that's where they get rescued or like
I
when they
guess.
get like picked up they get taken to California and
I mean, that's where they
so
were headed.
that's where they were headed. Jack seemed to be around locally. Um,
I guess.
he's
Yeah.
he's that LA doc, and I don't know what Iowa's extradition rules are.
Sure.
Something to read up on, I guess. Jack meets Kate in the parking garage. He admits that he still loves her, in contrast to his false testimony under oath on her behalf.
Yeah. Very funny. Just like say that in the parking lot of the court or
Yeah.
whatever. Just be like, yo, well, he literally says like, yo, that stuff back
Everything I said
there.
under oath, that was a
That was
lie.
that was a lie.
Like
Yeah.
like the DA walking by, be like, what's
What?
up,
What?
dude? Hold on, let's run this back.
Nice.
Uh, he asked to go out for coffee with her. Kate responds. She's like, "You want to follow me? Follow me home, and have a meeting at home." And the best performance of the series so far, Jack goes, and just looks away. It was so good, dude. I was laughing so hard at it. I don't know. It just really got to me. He he doesn't want to go visit her baby. And then Kate goes home. She goes upstairs in her big ass house and goes into the room with a kid. First, so I knew that we were like building up to a reveal of some sort because it was just that the vibe. It's the end of a Lost episode, right? But when she gets home, like the housekeeper or whoever's there, Kate's talking to her, and Kate's asking like, "You didn't let him watch too much TV, did you?" Like, no, and like, "Oh, he got like a snack or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, this is definitely gonna be Sawyer. It's gonna be like a Sawyer like reveal that he's actually living with Kate." and for some reason he's pretending to be your son, or like he got hit on the head or something. I don't know.
That's like the dog at the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is what I thought of too. It's just like a small child's body, but with like a very obvious like AI Sawyer face on top or whatever. So you know that it's Sawyer's child.
Yeah. But no, Kate goes up, enters a bedroom, and there's like little kid stuff on the walls, whatever. She goes and she like cradles a little blonde boy, and she says, like, "It's okay, Aaron."
Yeah.
End of episode. So I didn't take that to mean that that was actually Aaron necessarily. Kate's baby, Aaron. Wikipedia man seems to confirm that that isn't exactly the case, though. So a little bit of whatever. That would be funny though if there's just, I guess, another.
I do think that TV shows, I've said this before in the series, I think TV shows need to add a little bit more confusion and name more characters the same name as other
same
characters.
names. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought maybe Kate had named her own kid Aaron because in honor of
Aaron Carter.
Aaron. Yeah. Or, like Aaron Littleton. But yeah, I guess that it is indeed Claire Littleton's son, Aaron, that she's raising as her own. Sparking, and this is what Zoe, the theory that Zoe and I have about this. Well, I guess the other thought I had was that, like, okay, but back before it was like confirmed that this is definitely Claire's son, that I thought, like, okay, maybe she did have a kid with Sawyer, and he has blonde hair, so that could be an explanation of that. And Jack doesn't want to, like, maybe Sawyer dies, and Jack doesn't want to, like, be reminded of him when he sees Aaron, like the kid, or something. And so that's why he doesn't want us to swing by. Other theory, though, that I think that we landed on is Claire doesn't make it. She dies. Jack couldn't save her. And that's why he can't, so Kate is looking out for Aaron, raising Aaron. And that's why Jack doesn't want to be around, because he can't face that. He failed Claire.
I on the other hand, I'm Occam's razoring this, and I see that Kate and Claire are already living together in the house, and I suspect
Kate's just not around.
I suspect that they fall in love and get married, and they both make it, and that this is just Kate's adoptive son.
I like that.
Next time on Lost, figure out who's correct.
So I'm gonna give this episode a 3, but a strong 3, but a 3.
Oh, okay. I'll give it a 4.
Nice.
It's lightish 4.
Yeah, I just didn't like it quite as much as the last one, but still good, still very solid. My prediction for who the final 6th is, because wait, who do we get? Who are they now? Okay, we got Jack, Kate, Sayid, Hurley, Aaron.
Possibly Aaron.
Does Aaron count?
Child count? Does the child count?
And we know Ben makes it off, so it could be Aaron and Ben. But I don't think that Ben counts as an oceanic person. And
Aaron probably didn't have a ticket.
Aaron probably didn't have a ticket. But I think he would count. I think he would count if as like in pop culture you would call like the people who came back from the plane crash the Oceanic 6. I don't know. But I think Locke is the final 6th.
What if it's a 2.5 men situation where Aaron counts as a half, but then there's also another baby that counts as another half?
What if?
What if? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Locke's the final six, though.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that would be the biggest unexpected one to go back, and Lost likes to be unexpected. Not a very good argument for it. But let's talk about the title of the episode, Eggtown. Let me read from Wikipedia here. The word Eggtown is not directly referenced in the episode, resulting in online speculation and confusion. According to Lindelof and Cuse, it has been the most questioned title of the show. Jeff Jensen of Entertainment Weekly suggested that the title was in reference to the ancient cosmic egg concept or the chicken or the egg causality dilemma, while John Kubitschek of Buddy TV guessed that it was a shout out to the children's book and film called The Easter Egg Adventure, which depicts roosters attempting to steal Easter eggs from the animals of a place called Eggtown, or that it was an allusion to the Great Depression slang term, which was used in the 1930s when describing a bad deal. It's almost definitely that, not whatever the fuck the Easter Egg Adventure is, dude. I don't know.
Wait, what was it again? Not the Easter Egg Adventure. What was the one that you said it is again?
The Great Depression slang term used in the 1930s when describing a bad deal.
Okay.
Welcome to Eggtown. It's a bad deal.
I gotta say, Lost expert Ben from the In Progress podcast, Lost on Ice, says that I think it refers to the eggs at the beginning that Locke tries to serve to Ben, and they just happen to cut the part where Locke says, "It's like Eggtown over here."
Well, you would be right, because Lindelof and Cuse confirmed that the episode was primarily named as such because Locke fries eggs for Ben's breakfast, and secondarily, because the story deals with Kate's possible pregnancy. Which, what the fuck, guys?
I was like, Eggtown over here. Looking at
you're a woman, situations. You got a bunch of eggs.
Hey, oh, nice. That is why you listen to this podcast, folks. This is why you waited 20 years or whatever to listen to me tell you the facts.
Another few things that happened throughout the episode. Locke gives Ben Philip K. Dick's Valis, a 1981 science fiction novel about a Gnostic version of one aspect of God. Sawyer reads The Invention of Morel, a 1940 science fiction novel by Argentine writer Adolfo Bioy Caceres, at about a fugitive who hides on a deserted Pacific island where the people are only images and do not exist. So that's going to be it for this show today. What's up?
No, that's it. Ben didn't like the book, though. I didn't like the book. I'd be, you know me, I'd say,
he already read it.
Bring me back a James Bond book.
Well, that's he said, yeah, I've already read this one. And Locke looks directly at the camera and says, you might catch something the second time around.
My motto for watching every James Bond movie approximately 100 times as well.
That's all for the show today. If you like what you heard and want to hear more from Ben and I, consider joining our Patreon. That's patreon.com/drskeleton. Every week, Ben and I release a bonus hangout show and get into the stuff that's simply too hot for the main feed. That's what we're going to do right after this. You can write into the show at drskeletionsartschool@gmail.com right down below in the YouTube comments. What did we miss about this? Why is it Eggtown? What are the explanations we missed there? Next week, we are moving on to season 4, episodes 5 and 6.